of weirdest shoes you won't believe exist. Number 12. Ruffled Tall Sandals. These ruffled tall sandals are the byproduct of the fashion company Acne that was debuted on the catwalk of Paris Fashion Week back in 2013. Runways are notorious places for some of the world's newest and oddest fashions, designed as a means to stay ahead in the industry with fresh ideas. Unfortunately, most of the stuff that models are forced to wear are A, things that a normal person would most likely never wear, and B, something that only a celebrity would be able to afford. That being said, these sandals that look like they have muffin tins glued onto them have thankfully not been heard of for the past 3 years. Number 11. Mexican Cowboy Boots. Not just any Mexican cowboy boots, but these ones with horrifyingly elongated pointed ends. For some strange reason, they become quite the trend with the men of Mexico in recent years, and if you thought cowboy boots were bad before, then you're sadly mistaken. It's reported that these shoes are chick magnets, but it's safe to say that these are more chick repellent. Number 10. Tar Heelless Shoes. These shoes give off the appearance that they're actually melting or covered in dripping tar. To create this effect, the designer actually used black latex to cover these platform shoes. But that's not even the strangest part. Everyone knows that high heels are made even remotely possible by the heel that allows the user to walk at an elevated angle. This shoe, however, happens to get rid of the heel altogether. Yes, a heelless shoe. How does one even walk in these? The answer is, you don't, because you need at least 2 people on either side of you to walk or hobble from place to place. Regular high heels are uncomfortable. These must be unbearable. Number 9. Spiked Heelless Shoes. It seems to be a genuine problem that people keep finding themselves getting stepped on by random strangers everywhere. Whether on the bus or just casually walking down the sidewalk, someone will eventually step on your shoes by accident. Well, not anymore. With these spiked heelless shoes, you can guarantee that your precious feet will be spared from the dirty soles of others. And if someone does happen to step on you, that's okay too, because they'll likely be impaled by one of the dozen spikes. The only downside is that because these are heelless, they're not much good for running away once you kick that gross person on the subway. Number 8. Skull-heeled shoes. These skull-heeled shoes are perfect for showing off your inner morbid self and your love for all things macabre. The heel portion of the shoe is meticulously carved into the shape of a skull, while the part that holds your foot is a block of arched wood carved and covered with an upper suede finish. These heels also attracted the attention of Stephanie Joanne Angelina Germanotta, or Lady Gaga as the world knows her. Yes, the pop superstar loves all things fashionable, risque, and different, as we've seen her in many outfits, so it's no surprise that these puppies would catch your eye. Although, walking in these sure seems like a fate worse than death. Number 7. Muscle Tissue Heels. These heels are actually inspired by the tissues of muscle that are found in the human body, and not by a plate of spaghetti as it could easily be mistaken for. These shoes are definitely not for those who are squeamish at the sight of blood, or even those that aren't necessarily comfortable with wearing a heel that is so high from the ground. It's kind of hard to say what outfit would even go with these shoes, but hey, Halloween is just around the corner, so you never know. If you do want to buy these shoes for whatever reason, hopefully you have at least a minimum of $300 burning a hole in your pocket. If not, you could try Sears. Number 6. Octopus Heels. Actually called the Polypotus, these octopus-inspired heels are the work of 27-year-old Filipino shoe designer Kermit Tesoro. He created these after going to the Munch Museum in Norway, after he came face to face with a preserved tentacle and became extremely captivated by it. He got right to work by first creating a prototype from his sketches and sculptures that he documented on his Instagram. And voila, this is the finished product. Tesoro actually happens to be favored by none other than Lady Gaga herself, who's known for her unique sense of fashion. A shoe from the designer's collection will cost anywhere between $300 to $800. Number 5. Golden Goose Shoes. Earlier this year in August, the company Barney's decided to debut their new line of Golden Goose footwear, and boy, did Twitter users go all in. Apparently, the company was selling these shoes for $585 that are described as being distressed, and people were not having any of it. They took to the social media site to call out the company for trying to capitalize on the look of poverty, and suffice to say, they were pretty savage. These shoes are literally being held together by duct tape. You could find a pair of Converse that looks exactly like this in your local dumpster for free. Number 4. Cow Hoof Heels. These scary looking cow hoof heels are the work of Iris Schaeferstein, a 45-year-old designer from Berlin, Germany, who's known for making controversial footwear. Just a single pair of one of her insanely designed shoes will cost you a hefty sum of almost $5,000. That, however, is considered chump change for pop superstars like, say, Lady Gaga, who's taken a liking to the designer's crazy collection. Schifferstein creates these by going to her local butcher for carcasses that she cleans and then sends them off to be preserved, only then to make the animal's skin into something bizarre and utterly cruel. Number 3, snakeskin heels. Once more, the controversial work of Iris Schäferstein graces this list with its presence with what can only be described as truly horrifying. Animal cruelty is not something to be condoned and used to make useless trinkets such as these heels. Snakeskin has long been used as one of the contentious animal materials to create many different accessories for the fashion industry. These shoes can only be worn for a few hours because of how uncomfortable they are, as stated, and luckily not a single company is willing to manufacture these things. Don't even get us started on the actual heel part of this shoe. Number 2, teeth heels. The human mouth comes equipped with 32 teeth and a PSI of 120. Now, when most people hear the word teeth, they think of those small things in their mouth that help them chew their food. The words fashion accessory don't necessarily come to mind when you refer to your pearly whites, but apparently one designer took the idea and ran with it. Introducing teeth heels, the unofficial name given to this creepy set of footwear. Their actual name should be nightmare fuel. The heels are encrusted with the teeth of unknown donors. At least, hopefully they were donors, and are probably only worn by those who are dying to sink their teeth into some high fashion, or some cannibalistic psychopath who makes heels in their spare time. Before we reveal number 1, let us know in the comments below which one of these shoes you thought was the weirdest, and don't forget to subscribe. Number 1, stuffed dove sandals. It's no surprise that the number 1 spot goes to none other than Iris Schäferstein, as she's created almost half of the shoes that were previously mentioned earlier in this video. Schäferstein, more like Frankenstein, right? The doves on these shoes are just a lightning zap away from being reanimated and taking off. In all seriousness though, not only is having dead birds tied to your feet pretty grotesque, but it's not the best way to stay on the good side of animal rights activists. But then again, the fashion industry has never bothered to do so why start now? Guess we'll never know what doves sound like when they cry.